record. I'm really good at hitting record. Okay. So, so this is where I'm going to be starting to do this reading. And so what I really want to focus on in this reading is just, there's so, I don't want to focus on anything specific. I just want to comment that there are so many things going on right now, and I want to reference not only the coronavirus, but the far-reaching effects of it as far as xenophobia and racism, as far as moving in a direction that's further from ascension and further from like forward movement. And it's really distressing to me that yes, there are some of us that are starting to offer to uplift others and starting to see the benefit of that. But there are others who are still using this to, live in fear and oppression. And that is, of course, a reflection of what they're putting in the world, and that's on them. However, you can see the effect that it has on people, and on the people that energy and hatred is aimed at. And so, everybody reacts to things in different ways. When I get a new job, I'm always considered kind of the fixer. I'm the one that gets in there and I immediately see what everyone is doing and why they're doing it. And I'm like, nope, yes, nope, yes. And I just fix all the things and I make everyone get along and I help them fine tune their processes. And then when everything is perfect, I'm bored and I leave. Because if there's no chaos, then you don't need me. That's not what I'm here for. And so I often joke with my friends that I live in the tower. I live in the tower card. I'm gonna have the tower tattooed on me because I mean, why not? But also because you need to learn that it's always gonna be chaos. It's always gonna be like this. It's never gonna not be chaos. And the more you lie to yourself and say that you have security, the worse it's going to be and the worse it's going to feel. And so I'm not saying anything about, not washing your hands. I'm just saying we need to accept and understand that what's happening happens for a reason, and that we have a big say in that, in what those reasons are, and in how we react to everything. So it's just about making those little choices day to day about, is this taking me toward my higher self or not? And so it's just not everyone is there yet. It's difficult for those of us that are a little further up the ramp to feel frustrated or judgmental about others. I mean, I'm not excluding myself from this comment. It's difficult to see people being hateful or ignorant when I have so much love for everybody, and I just want everyone to please take care of yourself and live your best life and do something that makes you happy for the love of the gods. Any god, pick one. Don't pick one. I don't care. Have them all, love them all. It's okay. There's enough love for everybody. There's enough energy for everybody. There's enough power for everybody if we all just stop being afraid that we're not going to have enough. And I know that evolutionarily, as a species, we need to have that drive to keep moving, that drive to keep eating, whatever. But again, I go back all the time to this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because it is something that we all understand, is something we're all taught. And the pinnacle of that we were all taught is self-actualization. But they have done studies since then that prove that actually uplifting others is the very pinnacle. So once you have actualized yourself, you get to bring others. But we have this errant idea that self-actualization is the peak, and therefore use it as this justification to just be selfish jerks. And it's really actually difficult for some of us to not see it that way, that people are being selfish. But we have to remember that people are, they're at where they can be, and we need to be able to be there to uplift them so that they can see that they have other options as well, right? Everyone has their own path to walk, and everyone has their own lessons that they need to have. And so it's difficult but important to remember that it's not our place to judge anyone. And I'm saying that to myself as well as to everybody else. So I'm just making sure I've got all the right cards here. And so this reading is really just about, yes, I'm talking about the coronavirus. Yes, I'm talking about the stress that the world is under. Yes, I'm talking about how that's affecting us, but I'm not trying to touch on any one thing. What I really want to work on here is like each of us needs to find our center and our place in this storm. And so we need to know how to do that, and that's what I'm wanting this stream to be. My intention here is to offer not only discussion about what is happening, but possibly some useful ways to move forward from it, or ways to use it in your healing time and healing power. There's nothing happens without a reason, and obviously there's like some huge giant reason here, but for each of us individually, why is this happening? Each of us is impacted by this different ways. Some of us are self-isolating, or some of us are being reminded of past issues, past harms and traumas due to the news right now, and the things that are happening in the courts and the economy. Like, everyone has different emotional attachments, and everything is kind of going crazy right now. And so this isn't about any one specific thing, but about all of it, and how to figure out why this is happening in your life, and how this is in context to your own life, and how to I'm just trying to offer some tools as to how to navigate what might feel like a new or very scary situation. So the first card to come up in our reading of Calm in the Chaos is the Four of Cups. This is a wonderful card if you can see the power in it. And so this is all about seeing the gift, seeing what's being brought to you. And so this is what I was just saying, is there's a reason that the effects of this are happening a certain way. There's a reason that you're being triggered by things in the news. There's a reason why you're being upset by certain things. None of those things happen for a reason. It's an opportunity for us to examine what it is that we need at this time in order to have greater healing. Hi, Bet Beep. It's nice to see you. I'm just starting the reading, and so we were just talking about the Four of Cups. I really enjoy this deck in general, but I like the kind of airy-fairy cup coming up to her, and she's still hesitant. It's difficult, understandably, in times when things are very frustrating, or we're feeling very anxious, to be thinking about how this is potentially benefiting us, or to recognize that there may be something happening here outside of that pain and frustration. And so this card is a call to start looking around, start seeing that things don't have to be exactly the way they are every single day for you to have security, and for you to have the things that you're needing. And it's really important to try and pay attention to what the universe is bringing you right now. I'm just gonna, I don't know why it keeps freezing. I'm just gonna type in the chat. Try to change the settings on the sorry. Unfortunately, you guys, I don't know how to edit. So if you're watching this on video, you get to watch me struggle on the video. I apologize if you guys are having difficulty watching, but the video will have no interruptions, and so you'll get to see me struggle, as well as see every single thing that I do that you missed. So I apologize. Um, so getting back to the Four of Cups, um, there's just this idea that we need to think of. Um, I don't want to say, everything happens for a reason in a trite way. I just mean there's an opportunity to grow or to learn or to evolve our way of thinking or to heal or to get room for ourselves in what's happening. And so I love that you're starting to see seeds of this more in communities and stuff where people, again, are starting to reach out to each other. We're starting to realize that we have resources around us that we've become so closed off. We're no longer the collective. We're no longer humanity. We're just each individual. And while there's nothing wrong with taking care of ourselves and there's nothing wrong with doing everything we can to elevate ourselves, we also have to be aware that we are part of a greater whole and that we're part of a greater uh, overall energy, and we have responsibility to that whole. And so, don't be a jerk. It's basically the easy way. And it's just great to see that people are starting to be able to, even if it's because of crisis, people are starting to reach out to each other. People are starting to find their tribe. I love, again, I'm very careful about what I allow into my social media feeds. But I love that what I do have is just kind of like, so I can kind of know what's going on without being too traumatized. Um, but it's very much about, there's a lot of people offering help who we might not have known those people were there otherwise. And there's a lot of Instagram accounts that are about emotional and mental health that are saying, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, and here are some tips, and here are some resources, and here are some places that you can call if you need somebody. It's great that we are recognizing the needs of the collective. It's beautiful to see all the healers coming out and starting to step up into our role, because that's really what we're all here for. And so it's just amazing. It's amazing that this is all happening, but just be aware of it. Just be aware that this is all happening and be aware that this is an option and available to you. And this is the Three of Pentacles, which goes along with this. This is actually, the threes for me are all about endings. And the Three of Pentacles is really is about ending the way we think about resources. We need to stop thinking it's just one thing. See how happy they look when they have, like, they're each taking their own part and they're each holding an equal share. It's so important. Of course, the one is saying, y'all are so slow. And of course, there's always, we know that Aries, right? We all know that Aries. But it's important to realize that just because some people are using their talents and their resources more quickly, or what society might view as more successfully, doesn't mean that you're not going to use yours, doesn't mean that there's a certain timing, doesn't mean that you're wasting yours. You just need to trust yourself to know when to do that. And so we're coming to this time of awakening, and so many of us are starting to realize that resources are so much more than just money, and we're starting to realize that we have these different skills and these different sources of support and sources of love and sources of information that are available to us that we never had before, and those all count. Those are just pentacles too. Those are the same thing. And so it's the threes is about this ending of this idea that we have to focus on one resource to the exclusion of all others and to the exclusion of the balance of all the other things in our lives. We can be more successful when we diversify and lean on the different pentacles is not the word. Towers, someone puts you up on a pedestal. We have these different pedestals, and we need to make sure that they're all the same height and they're getting the equal amount of attention, so that we aren't losing our foundation, losing our setting. Just derailed myself. Anyway, that's fine. You guys know what I meant. So the next card is the Chariot. And I'm just going to see here. So the Chariot is this poor little sad looking one. maybe she's not sad. She's just looking at her map and she says, where the fuck am I going? And so we're all kind of feeling that right now. We're all not really sure what's happening. We can feel this change happening, and we can feel this big shift. We can feel the transition that's happening, but we're having a difficulty maybe putting it into words and acknowledging it. And probably a lot of us are dragging our heels because it's kind of scary. We don't know where we're going, and we don't know what we're doing, and we're not really sure how to get to nowhere. But this is where we really just have to have that faith and that trust. The card that came up with the Chariot is actually the Fool, which is she's literally jumping off a cliff. Whee! And so it's just about having that faith and knowing, maybe you're going to grow wings on the way down. Maybe there's going to be a mattress at the bottom. We don't know. We can't know. We can't know everything. This is just the way it is sometimes. Sometimes it's just more chaos than other times. But if you're really honest, life is really just one giant attempt at controlling chaos. And so we really just need to acknowledge that and realize that. And if you don't want to be on the crazy train, get off the crazy train. If you're not enjoying your view, then that's yours to change. You can sit beside someone else. You can move to a different car. You're not required. You're not required to stay where you are. And so this is really something that we all need to know for ourselves. I'm just waiting for these cards to decide what they're doing here. I must be holding the deck wrong or something. Okay. So then the next cards we have, and I love that we're getting into now the major arcana more, because it's just the major arcana are so clear and just like this is what you need to be doing. And so the Star is saying, "Whoo! I knew it was going to work out." And so this is just our reassurance. Like you need to take that little leap. And so you can see here this beautiful transition. We have these three. So we have. I'm sorry, guys. I'm terrible at this. There. We have the backwards. I'm so annoyed with myself. I had to switch them around. Okay, Chariot. Fool. I can't. This is terrible. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay, so here you go. The Chariot, the Fool, and the Star. And you can just see, like, okay, I gotta go somewhere. And then this leap of faith. And then this, like, whee, I knew it was gonna work out. And she's just, like, frolicking gleefully. And it's just so beautiful. Sorry. I just, like, even, like, the sun lined up on both of them. Like, guys, actually, did you see? It's just, like, so beautiful. That's where you're going. And so, sorry. I need a minute with the deck. It's just so beautiful. And so you can see that it is, we are moving in the right direction. The other thing that's happening here, the Devil card is coming up. And it's a little bit of a BDSM card. And they're saying, you like it. And so this is actually really interesting because the Devil is so much about entrapment, about where we are, and about what we're allowing to tie us down, be that something physical, be that something mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever. And so it's just this idea that we're trapped, but we kind of like being trapped. Like, I could do the work, or I could get myself out of the situation, or I could take the chance, I could take the leap, but it's kind of like, I don't mind being spanked that much. So I love the cheekiness of this deck. They're just so great. I swear, I love these. And that's just what we need to realize, is that we need to wake up to this idea that we have to do anything, because we don't. We have to do what we want to do. And ultimately, there's that support, and there's that there's that help available to you when you are really truly ready. And just think about all the times in your life when you were really truly ready, you had everything you needed. And don't say, oh, well, I had everything I needed, so I was ready. No, that's not what happened. You finally decided in your heart you were done with this crap, and then you did the thing. And then because everything became open to you, you have to be serious. You can't just say to the universe, yeah, I think maybe I want to break up with him. So could you just do it for me? No. If you really want out of your relationship, then you need to say to the universe, I'm done with this. I'm done with this place. I'm done with this time, and I'm done with this thing, and I'm over it. And you need to tell the universe what you want to fill that gap. You can't just be wishy-washy about these things. You must be intelligent. And so the next card is the Seven of Swords. And this is so much, this is often the thief card. The thief card. And she's saying, gotcha, bitches. And there's this one sword behind. And so I just think they're so cute. I'm sorry. I'm like looking at it. And so we need to be aware that these beliefs that we have are what is stealing our joy from us, stealing our energy from us. The belief that we need to work 40 hours a week, the belief, that we can only be successful if we make $60,000 a year. And you just need to be aware of that. And you just need to be, it's scary to let go of these things, and it's a vulnerable place to be in, but right now you don't have no one has to steal those things from you right now. No one has to steal those feelings from you right now, because you're just giving it away. You're giving all of your care and worry away for free. And so you just need to be aware of that, and be aware that your beliefs are what is the basis of where you put your resources and where you put your values. And so that works conversely as well. And if you look at where you put your resources and look at how you live, that actually tells you more accurately than your mouth what your real priorities and values are. This is something I look at this in my own life very frequently, and I feel I try very hard to make what I say and what I actually put out there match up. And it's really hard. Being human is BS. This is dumb. Why do we do this? Why do we keep coming back to this place? But anyway, I don't know. Here we are. And so just be aware that, you're not going to be perfect, and you're not going to be whatever, but you can, but you don't need to be. It doesn't matter. Just be aware of where you're putting your energy. Be aware of where you're putting your resources. The first step to every path is awareness. You need to be aware that you're making a decision about a path. You need to be aware of what path you want to be on. You need to be aware of what you're going to face on that path. But you also need to be aware that the universe is going to have your back every step of the way. And what you need is going to come. And so here is the moon. She is clearly reversed. And this is just speaking to us allowing these things to pull us off our paths. The things that are happening right now emotionally in the universe and the world are derailing a lot of us. Don't let it. Find whatever learning and growth opportunities you can. Just remember, seeds spend a lot of their time in the dark. Alone, isolated. It's probably scary down there, and they still grow. And so you just be a seed. Just figure out what you can do to nourish yourself in this darkness, and who you need to reach out to, what roots you need to put out there. Maybe some literal ones. Maybe it's time to do some grounding. There's some really amazing guided meditation on YouTube, and I've even considered doing some myself. And so it's just as a way of doing grounding for yourself, and as a way to connect to the support and resources you need. Because as I said, many of those are not tangible. There's a lot of spiritual assistance available to us. And so the Four of Pentacles is the next card. And she's saying, get your own. And this is, I think, hard for a lot of us right now. There's this shift, as I was just saying, where people are starting to offer their money up, offer their time up, offer their service up to others who are in need during these different crises, and offering their support, their even their time and their just someone to talk to. And so we see this Four of Pentacles, and she's kind of hoarding. Like, she has this one, and she's like, no, get your own. Like, I worked hard for this. And it's difficult for some of us to see what's happening and not to feel frustrated about it. And a lot of us justify our fear of not having enough for ourselves by saying, like, oh, I shouldn't have to, or the government isn't doing enough for them, or oh, look at those crazy people donating money. It's probably a big scam. And some of those things may be true, and some of those things are not, but it's just more about being aware of what you choose to put your attention on. And so please, this is really, don't hoard your resources. Don't think that you need to hoard your resources, because she is holding on so much to this one that she's not able to pick up the others now, right? She's trying to guard them, but she doesn't really have any control over whether someone just comes and picks them up, because she's not letting go of this one larger one. And so just recognize that just because you've given it all of your time and all of your attention so far doesn't mean that it is actually worth all of your time and all of your attention, and doesn't mean that it is actually the only resource in your life. Our ability to get fixated on these things is what brings up these feelings of fear, which is what brings up these feelings of judgment and hate against others. And we just really need to be aware of that in ourselves, and be able to recognize that in others, so that we can see that most people aren't necessarily being mean or cruel, but they're just, they're not intending to necessarily even be judgmental. They're just, reacting out of fear. And so it's really important to just try and meet people where they're at right now, and just recognize that in so much chaos and insanity, we're really, people are at some pretty hard places. So it's just about being aware of that. Now, this is the Nine of Wands coming up next, and she's saying, here goes nothing. And so I had talked in another stream about the Three of Wands being like this graduation, like this ending. I always talk about the 3s and 6s and 9s as kind of the rest stops on the path, the endings of things, the new direction, the fork in the road. And so the Nine of Wands, the 9, we've already kind of been through this cycle, each of us for ourselves. We've already kind of faced this fear, had this judgment, had this event happen before, and that's why we're being triggered now. And so this is just this opportunity for all of us to realize that this is a place that we can grow from, and this is a place that we can sorry, I want to use the word level up at. This is like a bonus round. And so don't let it derail you from your main path, but recognize that this is something that you can use for your own growth and your own good, so that you are able to get some closure on certain things and really examine certain things that will help you in the next stage of your journey. This is all still early in the year. It's very interesting to me that this is happening right now, because as far as what's coming, like we have Ostara, Easter, whatever you want to call it, coming up. This is usually a time of year when we are finishing up our winter stuff, and we're starting to get ready for the new things. We're starting to prepare to put the seeds, not in Saskatchewan, but we're starting to prepare the soil. And Ostara is actually the festival of fertility, and all about growth and rebirth, and the things coming out of the soil after dying in the ridiculously cold, long, ridiculously terrible winter. But anyway, that's just me. And so it's interesting that we're having this kind of upset that's happening right now. So just, to use the farming analogy again, let's just go back to that. Just realize that we are preparing our seeds right now, and realize that we are preparing ourselves for the next part of our journey, so to speak. And whatever we do right now is going to affect the outcome of our crop, or is going to affect the outcome of our of the fruits of our labors. And so just really be aware of where you're putting your energy right now. Just be really honest with yourself about how many articles you do need to read about certain subjects, or how many times you need to check Facebook to see if there's news, or maybe it's not even about social media or about the news. Maybe you just how many times do you see if that person called you? How many times do you worry about money? How many times do you think something unkind and judgmental? And those are all an indication of where your mind is, because none of us are intentionally unkind, judgmental people, right? And so we just need to, this is the Five of Cups coming up to have the final word here. And this is just coming up, not reverse this time, but upright. And so this is just this reminder that there is support. Okay. In this one, I love that it's kind of this one he's saying, fuck this shit. But what's really happening here is, it's him running away that's dropping the things. He's not realizing if they would just be calm and stick around, they could have these other cups that are available to them. So it's just about being calm in the chaos, about recognizing where your support is, about recognizing where your resources are, and about realizing that this is I'll reference, feels like a final test in some ways for a lot of us. This is a place where we have a lot of opportunity for closure and growth, but it's also a place that we can feel very heavy and very frustrated and weighed down, and that's okay. It's okay. I read today, you just need a rest. You don't need to give up. And so I just need to let you all know that you need to just be kind to yourselves and find that center, so that you're not driving yourselves insane. And so I believe that was the last card for this reading. Yes. So for those of you, I don't know, so I talked some about grounding, and so just to give you some very simple homework, one of the things I assign my clients for grounding homework is just to stand barefoot. I usually recommend doing it before bed because it'll help you sleep, but if you can just stand barefoot in a stable position and just focus on picturing roots growing out of the soles of your feet and into the ground, you can actually access all of the elements if you dig deep enough. And so if you just allow yourself to connect with the earth in that way, it's really a great way to connect to the universal energy, and it really, you can begin to feel the universal kind of energy flow, and you can feel, if you pay attention, you can feel it kind of wash over you like water or waves. And so those are things you can do to start kind of beginning to shed this energy and sense this energy. You can focus on allowing the energy to go down into the ground, and then when you feel like you have released everything that you need to release, you can focus on bringing fresh new energy up from the different elements to your body and to your chakras if you want to the different parts of your body if that feels better for you, to your whole body as itself. Some people enjoy raising their arms and collecting universal light from the beautiful stars and cosmos as well, or grounding at the same time. And it's beautiful what you can really feel that connection once you've practiced. This doesn't take long to do. It's just something calming that you can do as you are winding down for the day or as you are finding yourself frustrated. I'm just going to go back to the deck actually and see if it has any advice about how to calm ourselves. No, it says you're the one that does that. Okay. Well said. So, sorry, I have all the different beverages over here. I didn't mean to slurp, I'm sorry. And if you can hear the creaking, it's because the room that I'm in is just like a little bit slanted. Just it's not, nothing in the world is perfect. But it's so I have wedged the corner of the arm of my chair under the desk to keep from sliding across the room. So, sorry. And I'm trying not to squirm or move, but that's not really what I do, is not squirm or move. So, yeah. So I think that I will be doing some guided meditations in the next few days. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, or if there's a specific topic you'd like guided meditations on, please feel free to comment or DM me or let me know. At this point, I am open to questions. If anybody has questions about what they need to be doing or what they can be doing to help themselves with healing or help themselves with understanding what they can be doing for themselves or the best thing to do on a universal level at the moment, whatever. If anybody has any questions, even about their own personal stuff, just please let me know. I will happily pull some cards for you. I'm just using my pendulum here. It's too bad that the camera is so high because he really gets going and it makes me nervous to hold it this close to my face. So I think that some people were having problems seeing the stream anyway, and that's fine. It doesn't seem that anyone has any specific questions, which is totally fine. So I am going to end the stream for now, and maybe I'll go work on some meditation stuff. Love Advice Show. Hello. Oh no, there's a love raid. Hi guys. Good timing. I was just about to run away. But if anyone has any questions they'd like John from the tarot, I would love to answer them for you. Honestly, is there a better kind of raid than a love raid? Like, actually, so awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm sorry, I don't know if the frame rate is very good. I'm working on it. Okay, is it Pew Pew Pony? Or am I getting it right? I haven't done any gaming stuff in so long. Oh my goodness. Frame good, volume good. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. We'll take a reading. What would you like any particular reading, or would you just like me to see what the tarot says? Do you have a specific question? It's always I usually just let the deck talk. If you have a specific question, I'll just shuffle and it'll just spit things out at me. I'll show you the cards on the camera. I just want to know if there's, like, again, if there's specific questions you have, let me know. And otherwise, just I can just see what it spits out. I don't use, what's the word? I don't use spreads or anything like that. I just shuffle. I'll clear the deck while I'm waiting for the stream to catch up. You can tell me what you need or want. I don't know if you guys use pendulums, but sometimes they're hard to hold on to. I don't know if you can see here. I'm just clearing the deck. I just don't want to get hit in the face. And so I often get accused of moving it, but I'm just, it's moving so hard, I'm like holding on. It's jerking my hand. It's a little bit of a catch-22, I guess. And I don't, if you guys haven't seen this before, I'm just using it to clear the deck. Stream is stuttering. Sad face. Of course, it would drop when I'm trying to do a reading. Thanks, interwebs. Okay, good. So, do I call you like a love advice or like love or like a love reading? Sure. Do you have a specific question about your love life, Peter? Or do you have any particular things you want to know, or do you just want to see what it says? How can you be a better lover? Okay, fair enough. I will ask the deck on your behalf. So I hope you're not asking like because you don't think you're good at it. I hope you're asking because you know you're already like attentive and all of those things, and you just want to like take it to the next level. I'm hoping. It's very interesting. Okay, so we have, right, constant improvement. You can always get better, especially as a lover. And of course, you know, tendency there's a people want to talk about sex, but also you can be like a better lover in general. You'll have a better sex life if your relationship is better and if you relate to each other better. So, I mean, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is kind of funny. This is the only major arcana that came up out of these three cards. So the major arcana is really about the archetypes and about the major things in life. The little unicorn in my deck, which is a ridiculously cute, amazing deck, as I am always telling everyone, is she's saying karma is a fucking unicorn, which I think is really funny on multiple levels. And so this Wheel of Fortune often comes up when there's a new path available to us, or when we're feeling like we're not on the right path. So this is actually probably an indication for you that you're already on the right path. It sounds like you're already somebody that's looking for that next level. But the Ace of Swords is the next card that came up. And so this is very much about, this is often like a blessing or things about good omens. So the Ace of Cards is about new ideas. I know here that it's showing like very gory with blood, but it's not, doesn't have to be scary. Just this deck is awesome, and it just happens to have lots of fake blood in it. Or not fake blood, I guess it's just a picture, but you know what I'm saying. And so this would be about having new ideas and not being afraid to explore those new ideas, not being afraid to look into different ways, which is what you're obviously doing. The Five of Cups is the next one here. And the Five of Cups is often shown as kind of like a sad card or a bad card. You see like the three cups that are being knocked over. And this little unicorn is saying, fuck this shit. And so a lot of people are getting to this point where they're frustrated, or they're emotionally involved in a way that their feelings have been hurt, or their ego has been hurt, or they are feeling like people are feeling triggered or frustrated due to past experiences, but we're not seeing that those other two cups are upright. And so we're not realizing that there's this way that we can be very loving and supportive, or that we can access that love and support that we need, that we're not seeing because we're fixated on this other emotional thing. And so in reference to a sexual relationship, this is really about like not allowing things from the past to affect your current relationship, and not allowing your opinion from the past to color what you're willing to entertain in your current relationship. Every tarot reading is about the cards that are on the table, and every sexual experience is about the people that are there and who they are in that minute. And so it's really important to remember that we need to be open to new ideas in every way, and that by being open to new ideas is also a way of being open to being more loving, and open to opening ourselves to more love. As far as the Five of Cups goes, the stream cut out. But I'll just keep reading for now. I don't know if it's going to come back. Let me see. I'm going to wait so he can possibly see the rest of this. I'm so sorry that the stream is being awkward. I'm hoping to move in a couple of months and get different internet, so maybe that will help me. Maybe. Debatable. I'll take a sip of water while I wait to see if the gentleman returns. On the be right back screen. Sad face. Ugh. Screen of stream death. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. So, you know, I'm a squirrel and I don't sit still good. And so I'm like waiting. And part of me just wants to eat chocolate. But I'm on the stream and so I shouldn't eat chocolate. There we go. Yay, it's back. Okay, perfect. Awesome. I don't know why I'm typing yay, but I'm typing yay. Because I'm like that. So anyway, so I had talked about the Ace of Swords, about this like willingness to be open to new ideas. And this willingness, this ability to acknowledge that being able to be open to new ideas is a way of being loving, and a way of being open to our partner, and a way of being accepting. And we're seeing this transition more in the bigger sphere of things, from this position of power to this position of support. And we just need to realize that all of us are feeling kind of vulnerable through that shift and through that transition. And so coming back to the Five of Cups, from a more, again, sexual relationship standpoint, you just have to realize, like, maybe you're not getting every single thing that you've had before, but there's a reason that those relationships didn't last, or there's a reason that you're no longer doing that. There's a reason that that's something that is in the past. And so it's just important to remember that the support that you're going to need emotionally and mentally, the people that you're going to need to support you through whatever comes next, and that you and your I know that sounds odd when talking about a sexual relationship, but I mean, so many of us have sexual trauma, or have even not sexual trauma, but have sexual repression. And so everything is awakening right now. And for a lot of us, that's happening as well. And so it's just to know that you have people that can support you through this transition, which for some of us is happening in the bedroom as much as other places. So don't be afraid to talk to your friends. Everyone's kind of going through the same weird shift right now. For a lot of couples, it's working out kind of nicely as far as being able to kind of explore more of a leader role in the bedroom, just with the shift of the male and female energies. But this is also a time where everyone's in flux and everyone's playing. And so don't be afraid to play into those other roles. Don't feel afraid to be open to those other experiences, and go ahead and take yourself off of the, expectations bulletin board. Like you can be anything you want to be, and we need to stop thinking about all the old rules. And the be right back screen again. Curses. And that includes old taboos and things like that. Like we need to just re-examine what we think about sex and about sexuality and about love and acceptance as a society. And that's just, for a lot of us, that's playing out in the bedroom right now, I think. So I'm waiting for poor Peter. I'm so sorry that you keep getting the Be Right Back screen. I'm so glad that I'm filming this because actually I have so many people that are, so many people. I talk like I'm so wonderful, but I mean, I am wonderful, but like I didn't mean it like that. But I have so many people that had said they couldn't make it. And so I just wanted, so it is recording. I'm so glad that he will get this eventually. Hopefully. In the meantime, I'll drink more tea. I don't know if you guys noticed my amazing Ninja Turtle mug. It's pretty amazing. I don't know if there's any 80s babies here, but like, does anybody love the Ninja Turtles? And if yes, can you please tell me who your favorite Ninja Turtle is? And I will reward you by showing you my Ninja Turtle tattoo if you do. Oh, I do use it. Messing up with Cloudbot queues. Cloudbot queues. I don't know. Do I have Cloudbot activated? I'm not even sure. I'm sorry. Hooray, it's not me. Well, it's probably not me. Haha, great. So that's good. I guess that's an answer to that. I don't know if there's how many streamers are here. I used to use I used to stream video games back in the day, and I used to use OBS religiously. But then when I went to use another camera, it wouldn't work, blah blah. And then I used Streamlabs just to like look at it, and it's so simple and so straightforward compared to like nitpicking every little setting and every little thing. And like, oh my goodness, guys, you guys, if you've been streaming for more than 4 years, you know what I'm talking about. But I set it up and I was like, oh, this seems easy. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still only a few streams into this particular venture, so I guess we will see what happens. So I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna do now. It's very frustrating. Aw, thank you for following. I super appreciate it. I hope you can hear me. My goodness. I guess you can hear me say thank you in the video if you watch it. I'm just starting, as I said, to get back into being on the internets, so to speak, and being on Twitch. And yeah, so I'm really excited to start meeting some people that do maybe more stuff like this and less like gaming. Your title suggests you're one of them. So, right, it's so great that the alerts work. So great. I had like gone to the hassle. I had actually bothered changing what they were. And I'm always very pleased when they come up right across my forehead usually. It's perfect. It's exactly where you want them. So Peter, I'm sorry. I did, the reading will be posted on YouTube. And so it will be very good. It'll be very good to, that I was recording it so that you can at least see the full reading. Do you have any additional questions about what you did get out of the reading, or do you have anything else you want to know, or was that, did I fulfill your question? The word obligation came to mind, but that's not really correct, is it? I'm not very good at the words sometimes. Not usually. Because the deck likes to spit things at me, the Ace of Pentacles comes up, which is like a blessing on our resources. And a blessing, a good omen, good things to come. Resources are there for us. Just likes to, tell me stuff. This deck says, bling bling, motherfuckers. It says it just like that too. Look, see? Bling bling motherfuckers. That's what it says. Can you see it? Is that working? See? Aha. Maybe it's working. Kind of working. There you go. The best deck. It's the best deck. If you don't know this deck, you should get to know this deck because it's amazing. This deck is the Badass Baby Unicorn deck, and I'm in love with it. And like, oh my god, it opened to the lovers for me. Look how cute. So cute. So adorable. And they all say these little things like, let me get some, which like, that's what the lovers card should say, right? That's what it totally should say. Crazy tarot deck. Well, I was going to run for the night. Does anyone else have any more questions? I'm happy to continue answering questions if anyone else has anything they would like to know. But it seems like the frames are probably dropping and probably it's not working for everyone very wonderfully. And I'm sorry. And thank you for sticking around as long as you all have. Whoa. Ooh. Oh, look, guys, the Ten of Cups. If you cannot tell by looking at this card that it is a card of happiness and joy, then I can't help you. Look how beautiful. And they're saying, you think I give a fuck? And the other one's saying, I don't. And that's so funny because, you know, in some ways it's true. This card is traditionally known in the tarot as the happiness card, the ultimate card, the you got it, all the things you wanted card. And I love that in this deck there's like this cheek, this sass about like, yeah, you want everything, then just stop giving a fuck. Like, just stop chasing it, stop asking for it, stop running after it, because the universe is going to bring you everything you're supposed to have, and you're going to have the happiness and the abundance that you need and that you want. You just need to stop running after someone else's definition of it. And that, my friends, is true every day of the week, every day of the year. So I don't even know if you guys can see me at this point. Oh, the lovers again. So this is too, again, the lovers is about a big decision that needs to be made. Often it is about deepening of those relationships, and right now a lot of that is happening. A lot of us are deepening our relationships, not only our romantic relationships, but our friendships and our other supportive relationships. But we're also pairing up with those right people because we're all getting ready for the long haul right now. The next 12 years are upon us, so to speak. That started with the Lunar New Year, and we just need to be aware that there are that we have choices to make every single day to allow that abundance into our lives and to accept the abundance that the universe is bringing to us. But we also need to make those choices about where we put our energy and which people we spend our time with and which relationships we do deepen and which relationships we make those hard decisions about. And so, and so sorry, the deck is just like throwing things at me that are just part of a whole other reading that we will do another day. But so this is just the kind of, that's my final word for today. So, I mean, the tarot will always have the final word with me and with everyone. But you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to head out for tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the raid. I can't tell you how grateful I am. It means so much to me. For those of you who are still here, I will be posting this video on YouTube so that anybody that missed it or whatever could see it. To anyone watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe or like. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter for information of your choice. You can follow me and Acorns for Unicorns. The 4 is the number 4 on Twitter, but otherwise always the same. So thank you again so much. Thank you, Peter, for wanting a reading. It was so fun to do that for you, and I hope that you got something useful out of it. So thank you. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.